Okay. Check. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Here. Yeah.
I think very timely and very, very important. So,
Yeah.
also to not lose.
So much appreciated. And I want to start by saying that the situation we are seeing now in Gaza is catastrophic. It is beyond belief. It is totally unacceptable. It has to end, and we need to deal immediately, by the hour, to get humanitarian aid into Gaza, to work for a ceasefire. Norway was the first Western countries to call for a ceasefire very quickly after this round of war started. And we are acutely aware that while it has been a terrible war in Gaza over these last 19 months, it's just the latest expression of a problem that will come over and over again if we don't deal with the real issue, which is the absence of a Palestinian state. We are acutely aware that the situation in the West Bank is extremely serious. Not at the same level of death and destruction, but serious enough, but politically maybe even more challenging, because in order to maintain the hope of a Palestinian state, maintain the hope of a two-state solution, we need to make sure that those institutions that were set up back after 93, after Oslo, can thrive, and that that when we ask for further development and strengthening of capacity and reform, we also have to make sure that they survive this very critical moment, which is really, really important, really, really dangerous. I just want to start by confirming the very close. We are now looking towards New York, where there will be a meeting at the UN called by Saudi Arabia and France and Norway, who recognized Palestine last year in a cluster of European countries together with Spain and Ireland and Slovenia. We are working hard to encourage other European countries to do the same, and that they do the same before or at the conference in New York. I think that would be a very important sign, because one of the many pieces of a big puzzle of how to create peace in Israel and Palestine is the universal recognition of the Palestinian state. Countries between our royal families, we fully agree it's extremely serious, and it seems to be deliberately targeting, stirring up even more problems, even more violence, and I think I am very worried about what's happening in East Jerusalem and in the West Bank in general, as I mentioned, and I'm afraid that at least many of the people who engaged in this did that exactly because they wanted to stir up more confrontation and prepare for even more trouble. So we strongly, we very, 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 very much believe that this is the wrong path, and we need to have a very different way to go.
Prime Minister Netanyahu has stated.
اليوم تابعنا اقتحام وزراء إسرائيليون متطرفون للحرم القدسي المسجد الأقصى الشريف، وهذه أيضا جريمة نحذر منها ونحذر من عقباتها. واضح أن هذا الوزير الذي يدعو إلى تهجير الفلسطينيين، إلى قتل الفلسطينيين، وما يمثله من أيديولوجية متطرفة يريد أن يدفع الضفة الغربية أيضا نحو التفجر، ونحذر بشدة من أن تفجر الأوضاع في الضفة الغربية سيدفع المنطقة كلها إلى المزيد من التوتر والصراع. Netanyahu is continuing with his massacre of the Palestinians. I wouldn't even call it just war. It is a massacre. If you look at the numbers of people who are being killed day in, day out, this morning over 20 people were killed. The day before yesterday, a tragedy that should have the whole world standing up against it, when a mother, a pediatrician, had to identify the bodies of 9 of her kids at the hospital, at the emergency unit where she was working, and her kids were brought to her, charred and burned to death. This is what this war is doing. It is not bringing about peace. It's not bringing about security for Israel. It's only pushing the region deeper into the abyss of hatred, of death, of destruction and war. Netanyahu has made his country a pariah state. And this, yes, he succeeded in killing over 50,000 Palestinians, destroying all of Gaza, denying them their schools, their hospitals, their churches, their mosques. But ultimately, strategically, he sowed the seeds of more hatred and more dehumanization that will haunt the region for generations to come.